So, hello everybody and welcome! Yes, welcome back here at BSN Network here. We welcome you back here at BSN Network here upon the BSN Network podcast today. It is Thursday, May 28th. Hopefully everybody's having a good day so far. Hopefully everybody had a good rest of their day yesterday. I know I did. It's Thursday, one more day, and then we Friday, and then it's all of a sudden, just like that, it's the weekend again. I'm telling you, man, the weeks go by very fast. They just do, Even though with the whole virus and everything, still by going by fast. You would think time would be going by slow, but it's been going by fast. Which is good. Good that, it's because sometimes if it's, when you're kind of, quarantine, whatever, although you still, can get outside and do stuff, but if you're inside a lot, sometimes it can get boring and, not do much, and that kind of can get, days go slow and things like that, but it's always nice. The weekend is always nice, so it's always good to have the weekends and stuff. So this is what we got today on the table for the pod. We got MLB salary, Garrett Cole, and Max Scherzer. I'm breaking down Garrett Cole's salary. I'm going to break down Max Scherzer. Came out yesterday and said something about the whole salary situation. You know how I feel about it. You can watch the last podcast and in the podcast. I think last week I talked about it a little bit, and the week before that, you know how I feel with the whole salary situation. Jadeveon Clowney and the Browns, very close to a deal. That's what people say. The front runner right now is the Cleveland Browns. It's just a matter of getting a deal done. Although I feel like whenever I talk about this, what happens is then it all of a sudden just doesn't happen. But the Browns and Jadeveon Clowney, what I've heard from sources I've trust, they're close to a deal. So really, it should be interesting. And then we got the MLB stats, Aaron Judge and Jeff McNeil. If there's an 82-game season, they broke down the stats, and they look, could there be a 400 hitter? Could there be a 1.12 ERA player? Could there be a guy with this batting percentage or batting average? Could there be a guy with this guy with on-base percentage? So I'm going to break it down. I'm going to talk about Judge possibly being a big-time hitter, and McNeil, who last year had a very good year for the Mets. I'm going to break down how he could possibly be not a 400 hitter, but up there, maybe a 400 hitter, one of the more underrated players in the league. I talked about that 2 weeks ago, I think, on the podcast. I talked about my most underrated players in the MLB. Jeff McNeil was on there. Nobody talks about him. So, that's what I got coming up later on in the show. But let's get into it. So, let's get into it. I got my cup in, but I'll talk about that after the first subject, or first thing. So let's get into it. So, the MLB salary situation, you know how I feel about it. I'm not a big fan. I think that the MLB right now is trying their best. I like the salary. I mean, I'm fine with them cutting it in half or whatever. I like the salary. So I'm just not a big fan of how the players are reacting. I think all of us are how the players are reacting. It's tough because these players, they want to come out. Obviously, that's what people say anyway. They want to come out and play. They obviously, these players right now are always, they're just complaining about everything, it seems like salary is the big deal right now. And the reason why the MLB can't get a season going is because they're so worried about the salary, salary that. Why are you cutting my salary in half? 82-game season, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And it's really, as a baseball fan, you will understand. As a true baseball fan, it's very frustrating. You just want baseball to be back. But these players are stopping it from happening because they're so worried about the salaries. Because they're so worried about the amount of money they're getting. Because they're so worried, if my salary gets cut in half the season. Because they're so worried about that, the MLB can't get a season going. So yesterday, I crunched the numbers. If you want to go watch the podcast, it was yesterday, the 27th. I crunched the numbers yesterday, okay? Here's what I got from my salaries. Number 10, Clayton Kershaw will make $31 million per season. If the salary were to get cut in half this year, he would make $15.5 million. Manny Machado, he makes $32 million a season. If the salary were to get cut in half, he would make $16 million this season. David Price, making $32 million per season. If the salary were to get cut in half, he would also make $16 million a season. That's tied for 8th. Number 7, Justin Verlander, $33 million per season. If the salary were to get cut in half, he would make $16.5. Nolan Arenado, $35 million per season, salary gets cut, $17.5 million. Steven Strasburg, $35 million per season, salary gets cut, $17.5 million. Zach Greinke, $35 million per season, salary cut, $17.5. Max Scherzer, he came out yesterday publicly and said, I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy with this whole salary thing, and sports fans don't understand what I mean by that. So I'm going to read that in a couple of minutes. Max Scherzer, $35.9 million per season, $17.95 if the salary were to get cut in half. Garrett Cole, $36 million per season, $18 million if the salary would get cut in half. Mike Trout, $37.7 million per season, $18.85 of the salary would cut in half. And I brought up the NHL yesterday. The reason, in my opinion, and it's kind of clear, it's really kind of blatantly obvious. You look at the NHL, their salaries are nowhere near as large as the MLB because the MLB is a bigger market. They're kind of a bigger sport. They have a lot more money, right? I mean, you have some of the biggest franchises in the MLB, right? You have some of the biggest franchises. The Yankees are one of the biggest sports, meaning money-wise, sports franchises. Yankees, Cowboys, Lakers are up there. They're a very expensive sports franchise, so you're going to get a lot of money out of them. But what I'm trying to say here is the NHL, why they struck a deal earlier, why they got done quicker, why they are able to possibly come back sooner, is because they don't have to worry about the money aspect. Guys that salaries are getting cut in half are making more than the NHL does daily on a regular season. Like I said, the highest NHL player right now is Mitch Marner. He's making $16 million per season, $16 million a year. If Mike Trout's salary were to get cut in half, he would make $18.85 this year. So either way, they're making more than the NHL. That's why NHL struck a deal quicker. So anyway, yesterday after I got off the podcast, there was a report that came out by CBS Sports. Sources I trust, right? Came out. And Jeff Passan, MLB insider, potential salary cuts in MLB plan, sources tells. And me. So the full year for a guy that's, let's just say, getting $563.5K, this year he would make $262K. For a full year, the guy that would make $1 million, he would make $434K. For a guy that would make $2 million, he would make $736K. For a guy that would make $5 million, $1.64 million this year, $10 million, $2.95 million, $15 million would make $4.05 million, $20 million would make $5.15 million, $25 million would make $6.5 million, $30 million makes $6.95 million, and $35 million would make $7.84. So, for example, Mike Trout would make somewhere around $7.84. He would probably make around $8 because he's 37, that's 35, so that's $2 more million. So he would probably make around $8-9 million this season. Still, you're still making $8.9 million. Still making $8.9 million. So let's crunch the numbers. So the New York Yankees have been baseball's highest full season payroll this year at $260 million. They have the players at nearly every stop along the sliding scale. Let's the proposed 82-game season for Yankees to show how sliding scale salary reductions would work for every pitcher and record-breaking contract to someone. So, full salary for Garrett Cole is $36 million. I have that on here. Okay, the 82-game portrayed salary would be $18 million. I also have that on here. That would be if you cut it in half. Sliding scale salary, you make $8 million this season. Total play reduction, 77.6%. Brett Gardner, he's making $10 million. 82 game, cut in half, 5.06. Sliding scale, $2.95 million. Gary Sanchez, $5 million. He would make $2.53 million this season, $1.64 million. Sliding scale, 67.2 total pay reduction. So, same thing. I think I missed with Brett Gardner, 70.5% pay reduction. Kyle Hijaki, he would make $579,200 this season. He's the backup catcher for the Yankees behind Gary Sanchez as Austin Romine left. He's got a very bright future ahead of him. The backup. He would make this season $294,175. Sliding scale salary $269,300 and 53.5 with his total pay reduction. So there was more than $4.25 billion in a player's salaries on the books in the season prior to the shutdown. The 82 games knocks that down to a bit more, $2 billion. The sliding scale plan reduces that even further to $1.5 billion or so. So what I'm trying to say here, what I'm trying to make of this, right? So Garrett Cole would make around $18 million a season, or somewhere around $18 million a season. Brett Gardner would make somewhere $5 million, $2.53 million for Gary Sanchez. You really can't go off of like the lower players because Kyle is Higgy. We call him Higgy. The Yankees actually call him Higgy. Not even kidding. Higgy, he only makes $579,200 this season. So it's not even like he's making millions this season. He's only making a couple $100,000. He's not making much. Right? So you can't go off of that. Right? I know I am, but you really can't because you can't base off of that. That's only $579,000 this season. That's not that much. That's really not that much compared to Mike Trout, who would make $37 million a season. Right? Something like you can't really go off of that. So Garrett Cole, I was right on the money. He would make about $18 million this season, right? Possibly $18 million or around $8 million, right? But the point is you're still getting $18 million. You're still getting more than like Judge. He makes $622,000 a season, right? You're still making more than some of these younger guys. Although Judge, I'll tell you what, he has a good year this year. He's gonna want the money. He's gonna want the big contracts. So you're gonna see him. You're gonna see Judge get the money. You're gonna see him get the money, which I think Judge deserves. I have an odd feeling Judge is gonna turn into. I feel like Judge is like not turn into a Jamal Adams where they're not gonna sign him. I feel like I feel the same way about Judge with Jamal. Like the Judge should get paid when he needs to get when Judge should get paid at the end of this year. Jamal Adams I think should get paid, but that's a different story, another day. So. Talked about that a couple days ago on the podcast. So Garrett Cole would make around $18 million, right? $18.22 million. So per trade salary, right? So what's a little bit annoying is these players still aren't coming to an agreement, but they're still going to make $18 million this year. Like Garrett Cole's not the one complaining. It was Max Scherzer. They're still going to make, Max Scherzer would still make $17.95 million this season. Cut the salary in half. You're making more than the NHL does on a regular basis. I'm going to read it again. NHL, top 5 NHL salaries. I've got it right here. I ain't lying. I'm not reading off of anything fake. Right here. Not lying. Mitch Marner, $16 million. Austin Matthews, $15.9 million. John Tavares, $15.9 million. Carey Price, $15 million. And Erik Karlsson, $14.5 million. And here they are complaining that their salary is going to get cut in half, and they're still going to make $18, $17, $16 million this season when the NHL on a daily basis. Back to my point, I've said this about 4 times. I know it might get annoying, but I just want to make it so obvious, so clear. This is why the NHL struck a deal quicker, because the players aren't complaining about the money. Because they don't have to worry about the money because they're making $16 million, which is a lot. But not $37 million, not $36, not $35, not $32. They're making $16. And here the MLB players are they should really take a moment and look at how the NHL players are getting paid. They're not getting paid poorly. They're still making $16 million. I'm not like, oh, I feel bad for the NHL players. They're still making $16 million. Around 16 to 10 million. But what my point is how these players are so mad because they're going to get salaries cut in half, but they're still going to get more money than an NHL player. They're still going to get more money. So now, let me read through what Max Scherzer said, okay? So here we go. So, okay, the Major League Baseball Players Association expects to counter MLB's economic proposal by the end of the week. So I was listening to a show this morning, right? I always listen to sports shows and stuff like that. I was listening to a show this morning. So they had the update going, and they had a guy coming on. They had the usual guy. He was like, I really like baseball. Same do I. I'm going to read off of what he said. I do like baseball, though. He said, I really like baseball. But he was saying how, they should just, at this point, just end it and start in March. And I'm not kidding. If it continues to go like this, where the players are just complaining about the money, complaining about the money, it's getting to the point where because you got to realize, too, now the MLB has to compete with the NBA and the NHL, who are probably going to come back earlier than that. And somebody that doesn't like the NBA, NHL, or MLB, but they're just a football fan, let's just say, they only watch football, they're going to probably choose NBA and NHL first over MLB. And here's the reason for that. Because this goes into the viewing part of it. MLB, you have to be a certain type of person. I'm not saying it's bad if you can't watch an MLB game. You have to have a certain way of watching it. Like, MLB is way different than an NBA game, an NHL game, an NFL game. It's way different. It's a little patience in an MLB game. An MLB game's not like, where you're standing up every play and you're just screaming at the TV or you're yelling there like you're right. That's a little different, right? It's slower paced. That's why a certain type of people can get into. I'm one of those guys. That's what I find weird, because I can watch all four sports. Very rare do you find a person that can. You find them You find them. I shouldn't say that. You do find them. But I know a lot of people that only watch football, basketball. I know some people that only watch football. I know some people that only watch hockey. I know a lot of people that only watch basketball. I know a few, not many people that watch only MLB, but very rarely do you hear a person, I only watch MLB. That's the problem. If you are a football fan, and if you were to set up a poll, let's just say in July now, right? Because the MLB, the NBA and NHL, they're closer to striking deals. So my point, what I'm trying to say is something like, they're going to have to think of something quickly, because they're going to have to compete with NBA, NHL, and then in August and September, all of a sudden you got NFL preseason starting. Not that that's a big deal. Nobody really watches the preseason. But all of a sudden you got the NFL season starting. You got training camp. All of a sudden you got all this happening. And you have NBA and NHL in the playoffs. I'm not going to lie, if they start in the playoffs, if they just start in the playoffs. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be tough for the MLB. Yeah, there's baseball fans that are going to watch MLB, but I'm talking about all those football fans. Let's just say only the football fans, or even let's just say the NHL finishes before the NBA finishes. NHL fans, let's just say they had to choose between watching an NBA game or MLB game, most of them would choose NHL. It's true, the ratings are a little bit down, I'm pretty sure, in baseball, because it's just different. It's how the people are today. People don't really have I shouldn't say patience, because that's not the right word to say. I'm not trying to be mean to the people that don't like baseball. I shouldn't say patience, but people just don't have the people just, sometimes they just find it boring, because, it's a slower pace, right? Slower pace. Somebody would rather watch guys run up and down a court in basketball, or people hit each other into the boards in NHL, or people watch guys tackling each other in football. It's just how it is. But that's how it is. So I like the MLB. I don't think it's boring at all. But that's because I'm that type of person, right? A lot of people out there think baseball is boring. I don't like to call. I think soccer's boring. But I don't like to call sports boring and then go ahead and be that person that says, all you do is this. There's a lot more involving any sports. And I've been that way before. I've said, all you do in soccer is kick a ball. Everybody says all you do in baseball is throw a ball and hit the ball. And there's way more to baseball than just throwing a ball and hitting the ball. I'll tell you that for sure. There's way more in baseball than throwing a ball and hitting a ball. There's so much more. I'm not going to get into it, because there's running, there's you gotta run to the bases, okay? Right? You gotta run the right way. You gotta catch. You gotta know where the plays are coming. You have shifts. If a guy usually hits down the first baseline, you're not gonna have many people down the third baseline. You gotta be sure when the player's coming up, you gotta know where he's gonna hit. There's not just, I throw a ball and catch a ball. It's not like that. There's a lot more to baseball. So, anyway, but that's what he said. He was saying like something between the lines that you start up back in March, because it is going to be hard. They can't strike an agreement. It's going to be hard to compete with NBA and NHL, because a sports fan, an NFL fan, or just a fan in general, maybe they don't really watch sports. They just like to watch sports. Maybe they don't have a favorite sport. They just like to watch them. I bet you they would instead watch an NBA or NHL game over a baseball game. That's the problem. That's why they have to strike a deal quickly. And they're not getting anywhere. If anything, they're taking steps backward each time they offer a deal. Each time they do something, they're just taking steps backwards. Backwards. It's just annoying because I just think like these players, if they were really that passionate about the game of baseball, they would really love the sport they play, and they really didn't care that much about the money. They would be okay. All right, you know what? I'll take the pay cut. I'll take it, right? If they were really that passionate about the sport and they really love the sport so much, they would take the pay cut. But that's not the case. And it's tough that the world has gotten to this where only the players care about the money, but that's where it's gotten to. And it's very annoying as a sports fan. It's very annoying because that's all they care about. They don't care about, sometimes they just don't even care about the other stuff. Like, they probably didn't even look at the other stuff. And that first deal they made, they probably like, oh, where's the money? Like, just take the deal. Take the half-salary pay cut and just play ball. Just play baseball. Don't worry about the money for 5 minutes. Don't worry about it. Erase the money from your vocabulary and just look at the other stuff about the deal. Because it's very annoying when these players just complain. Oh, I want the money. Oh, cry about it. You're still going to make $18 million, $16, $17 million this season. Or if they really cut even lower, you're still going to make $9, $10 million. I would take $10 million this year. I really would. I would trade places with the baseball player right now and take $10 million this year. I'm sure a lot of people would. Comment down below. On a regular job or anything in general, would you take $10 million this year? I would take $10 million. It wouldn't be bad. So this is what Max Scherzer said. After discussing... Hold on, let me pull it up. So he wrote this. After discussing... Or he wrote this. Okay, I have to switch this. So he wrote this. So after discussing the latest developments with the rest of the players, there's no reason to engage with the MLB in any further compensation reductions. We have previously negotiated a pay cut in the version of prorated salaries, and there is no justification to accept a second pay cut upon the current information the union has received. I'm glad to hear other players voicing the same viewpoint and believe MLB's economic strategy would completely change if all documentation became public information. So, yeah, this is what the top MLB salaries would be like. I said this before. I guess this is what it would be like now. I've heard multiple versions. Like I said, I've heard people saying that they're going to make $18 million. I've heard people saying that they're going to make this, and this. So this is what CBS Sports HQ did. Whatever to the top 2020 MLB players out. Original salary $37.7 million, $36 million. I've already read through that. So Mike Trout would make $5.7 million this season. Garrett Cole would make $5.5 million. Max Scherzer would make $5.5. Steven Strasburg $5.3. Greinke $5.3. Nolan Arenado $5.3. Exactly. I agree with this guy. So this guy wrote back and said, come stand in the free food giveaway line that 30+ million unemployed Americans have to do every week. Go play ball and quit complaining about your reduced salary with your reduced schedule. I agree with that 100%. There's people that are unemployed right now. They can't even get food. They have to stand in the food line. Because they're unemployed right now. And these players are complaining that they're only going to make $5 million a season. It's sad. It really is. It really is. That makes it, I said this a couple days ago on my pod. There's people that can't even afford food right now because they're unemployed with the whole virus thing. And these MLB players are complaining that they're not going to get $37 million this season, that they're not going to get 36. In Scherzer's case, he's not going to get his $35.9 million this season. These players are complaining when people can barely have enough money to afford. They don't even have enough money to afford food. I heard the other day that they can only have 2 meals a day, and these players are so annoying sometimes that all they care about is the money. The money. It's really getting annoying. And I'll tell you what, you ask a baseball fan, 90% of them, and I've heard from many baseball fans, I've talked to many so far, They just want him to play baseball. That's what they really want. They want him to play baseball. And I like Scherzer. Scherzer's a good player. It's not that I dislike him now. It's just stop complaining. Stop complaining about that you're only going to make $5 million a season, and don't even come up with the excuse like Blake Snell did that it's going to affect him badly, that he's only going to make this, that it could really hurt him, that he's only going to make $5 million. Some people don't even see $5 million. $5 million. That's interesting. That's what I'm going to leave it, because I could go on with this forever. It's just, comment down below. I know I've said this a lot. Comment down below. Would you consider these MLB players, it's annoying, right? Would you consider, kind of being a little shellfish right now? Something like that. Would you consider that? Because I really do. People can't even afford food right now. And these players are complaining. These players are complaining about the fact that they can't get their 37 million, 30 in Scherzer's case 35.9 million. It's really annoying. And like I've said before, 5 times probably today. No, I've said it a lot. This is why the NHL struck a deal earlier, because they don't got to worry about the money. Because their paychecks ain't that big. It's real. I still like baseball. I love baseball. But it's really starting, the MLB, they're really exposing themselves. How these players, they're not that passionate. They just go out there just for the money. And that's reasonable, right? I'm not on their side now. I'm saying, these guys are doing it for the money. They have to. This is their way of, getting money. This is their job. It ain't no just play around fun. But when it gets to the point where you can't be playing the sport, what's annoying to me? Is they can't strike a deal. If they can't strike a deal, they shouldn't even get paid this year. Let's just say the season gets canceled because they can't strike a deal. They shouldn't get paid. It's not fair. Because if it was there for them complaining about their $5 million, that's the thing. The MLB, all these sports, right? It's not. They're not doing. They get paid. I know some people out there think that these guys, this is really their job. It is. This is their job. They play Major League Baseball. They play National Football. They play national hockey. They do all that. They play national basketball, right? They play that. That's why they play, because they need the money. Everybody needs money, right? Money's needed. It's a need. But now I think these players are getting a little needy. They're getting a little to the point where, no, I can't take that $5 million. It's unacceptable. Well, you're not, and now they want to up the games to 100 just so they can get their contracts higher. I'm sorry, but 82 games, you can't get your full contract. I'm sorry. That's how it is sometimes. So now we go to Jadeveon Clowney. So by the way, this is my new cup. So it's BSN Network on it. I don't know if you could see it. BSN Network. This is my new cup. I obviously drink out of this during the pod, and it's not really merch, it's not really wear stuff, but this is my new custom mug, so I'll be using this every day for my pods. Like I said, I'm trying to expand the BSN Network kind of logo, and I'm not my sponsored brand, but this is what I go off of, BSN and stuff, so really like it. It's really cool. I like how it came down. I kept it simple. I was gonna put my logo on there, which is right there. That's my logo, the one right in the center. Right there. That's my logo. Sorry, my camera, so if I'm pointing this way, not opposite, but it's kind of is opposite. But yeah, so that's my BSN logo right in the center. Not the Islanders, right in the center. You see it. So I was going to put that on, but I was like, I'm just going to keep it simple. So it's just regular old BSN Network. It says BSN Network on it because that's my thing, BSN Network. BSN, you can see it here. BSN, ton of BSN stuff. That's what I go off of, YouTube channel and everything. So, comment down below if you like it, because I do. I kept it simple, it's nothing crazy. I really like it, but it's nothing crazy design. I kept it simple, just BSN Network, because, I don't need it too complicated. I don't need it, this big sign here. I kept it white and blue because that's my colors, white and blue. Blue, logo's got blue in it. My football guy here is blue. I like the color orange. Orange is actually my favorite color. But it's just how it's panned out and everything. Blue is the BSN Network color. Like, blue here, blue here. You know what I'm talking about. So, anyway. Just wanted to show you guys that. Hopefully you like it like I do. I really like it. I think it came out excellent. My opinion, it's really cool. I like it. So, let's get up Jadeveon Clowney's stats. I don't think he's not... So, I gotta get up his stats here. Sorry about this. Taking a little bit. Jadeveon Clowney. Sorry about this. Alright. So, I'll start talking about it now anyway. So, Jadeveon Clowney is a very good defensive end. He's a very good edge rusher. Coming off the edge for what was the Seattle Seahawks. Now he's a free agent. As they got rid of him. Sorry for the delay. I pulled up the wrong thing. So, anyway. So, Jadeveon Clowney, very, very, very good player. In my opinion, one of the better defensive ends in the league. When he's healthy and if he's healthy. If you did not know, Jadeveon Clowney last year had a very tough injury. Groin. Reminds me of a little bit of CJ Mosley. Not in a joking manner. I'm serious. Like, he does remind me of CJ Mosley. Meaning, CJ Mosley had the same exact injury. He had the groin injury and he had to get surgery for it. And same thing with Jadeveon Clowney. Had the groin injury, had to get surgery. I don't know if it's the same exact thing, but groins are bad. Groins are not pleasant. Groins are not good, to say the least. They're one of the more sensitive parts because just everything you do, walking, it hurts because you use those muscles and stuff to walk. So groins are not bad. Or groins are very bad, meaning not good. I meant to say not good, but I leaked out. Not bad. I don't know what I was saying there. So their groins are not good, they're very bad. So he had a groin injury last year, and it was during the playoffs. I think he got it, during last year's season, but it wasn't hurting him that much, and progressively, that's what happens to groin. You could pull it, and if you just keep, that's really what heals groins, is rest, and that's why I think what really happened, that's why he needed to get surgeries, because I think it started hurting him, and then what happened was, he wasn't resting, and he was like, okay, it's just maybe just a little strain and stuff, little pull, which is normal. You can do that with your groin all the time. You could you could be running and it pull. You really don't have to do anything with it. You could either maybe take maybe you can accidentally, take one big of a stride while running, or maybe if you did a certain cut or something on the football field, or, maybe your leg went a weird way. Groins can really happen, really they could just happen out of the blue. But anyway, so it hurt, and I don't think he really told anybody, because he thought it was just a strain and stuff, and it progressively got worse and worse and worse, until I guess he went to go see a doctor. I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know if this is really true. I don't know when he exactly heard it, but I'm pretty sure he heard it around the season ending, and they ended up making the playoffs, played well against the Eagles. They went to the division round against the Packers at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, and all of a sudden, things got interesting. He was not Jadeveon Clowney. He was playing decent. Not Jadeveon Clowney, though. They knew something was up. So, it was a groin injury. They all knew it. He needed to get surgery at the end of that year, which ended up being a couple days after that game, because they ended up losing that game against the Packers, which I was mad about because I was rooting for the Seahawks. I don't like Aaron Rodgers. I don't like the Packers, period. Just don't like them. So, anyway. So, they ended up losing that game. Jadeveon Clowney got surgery. Seahawks free agency, they didn't give him the money. So Jadeveon Clowney wants the money. He wants a lot of money. But Jadeveon Clowney is a very good player. So the Browns are now running to the front runner. So I'll give you kind of how free agency has gone. So he got surgery on the groin. The Seahawks got rid of him because he wanted a new contract. Seahawks were going to give him to him. He went from the Texans to the Seahawks, played with the Seahawks for one season. He was very good with the Texans. Him and Watt coming off the edges were nasty. Obviously, that's not the case down there anymore. Watt's still there, but Clowney's obviously in free agency. Went to the Seahawks, played very well with the Seahawks. A lot of people think he had a down year. Look at the numbers. He had a good year. Went to the Seahawks, and then all of a sudden, now he's back in free agency. And it's weird because nobody picking him up because they think that his asking price is a little too high. He's asking for about $20 million a season. They think that his asking price is a little too high. So the Jets. So here's how free agency has gone. The Giants were in the running. The Titans were in the running. The Jets were, for a week there, they were the front runners. It almost reminds me of a Logan Ryan situation. The Jets for a good week there because the Jets need an edge rusher. Like they need a defensive end. Henry Anderson probably going to be gone at the end of the year. Did not have a great year last year. Jordan Jenkins signed a 1-year deal. He's coming off the edges. He could be an outside linebacker or he could kind of switch into that DN spot. 3-point stance. Really all depends. But he's very good. I don't know if he'll be back though. Avery Williams and C.J. Mosley's obviously the leader of that defense, middle linebacker. He's not edge. Jets need an edge. We got Jabari Zuniga out of Florida in the draft. So I like that move. I don't know if he's going to start. I don't think he will. But him and Henry Anderson will probably swap, I would assume. So we were going to get Jadeveon Clowney. We were the front runners for a good week. And then the Giants actually rose for like a couple of days as the front runners. And then the Titans rose. And then it just got dull there for a while. And now, just like 3-4 days ago, now the Browns rise as the front runners. And it looks like no other team's in contact. Really looks like no other team from what the research I've done from the sources that I've seen it from. No other teams really in the running now. So the Browns, who have Myles Garrett, who I talked about a couple days ago about his contract situation, now the Browns have Myles Garrett. But here's my problem. Here's my question. Myles Garrett might want to get paid. If they spend the $20 million on Jadeveon Clowney, who actually lowered his asking price to about $17 million, they still don't want to give him. I think teams said, from what I've heard, teams want around the $15-14 million range, but his asking price is still a little too high. I don't know if he's going to lower it. You know how sports athletes are. I just had a whole segment on it. They ain't going to lower the asking price. But Jadeveon Clowney, if the Browns are going to get a deal done soon, they got to get it done. Because here's my thing. Myles Garrett, who's the other edge player, that would be nasty. First off, before we get into the money part of it, that would be nasty. Jadeveon Clowney, Myles Garrett coming off the edge, not good. Bad thing. I'm a Jets fan. We have to play the Browns once this season. We have to play the Browns this season. So if Jadeveon Clowney goes there, and there's Myles Garrett also on the edge, you got possibly the best edge combo in the NFL. They don't have to worry about the edge, right? They don't have to worry about that now. So, anyway, they would be nasty off the edge. Now let's get into the money aspect. If Jadeveon Clowney, let's just say he gets his 17, 18, 19, 20 million, wherever that is. Let's just say the Browns go up to his asking price and said, you know what, sure, you're a very good defensive end, one of the better ones in the NFL, we'll give it to you. He goes to the Browns. Now, all of a sudden, Myles Garrett wants the money. And I talked about this. Myles Garrett said his asking price around $20-25 million. Don't know if it's going to be this season or if it's going to be next season, but supposedly Myles Garrett wants a new contract, which I agree Myles Garrett deserves it as long as he doesn't make mistakes. You know that big mistake with Mason Rudolph last season, hitting him across the head with the helmet. You know that problem. I'm sure you do. If you don't, go back to the podcast because I don't want to repeat it for like a 7th time because I've said it so many times already. But anyway, Myles Garrett wants the money. So if, let's just say next season he wants the money. Now, do you run into a roadblock because you signed Jadeveon Clowney, and then all of a sudden Myles Garrett, plus whoever else needs to get signed, plus free agency, plus the draft? Do you run into a roadblock? That's why I think the Browns are a little hesitant here. That's why I think the Browns, comment down below, do you think that's why the Browns aren't getting a deal done as quickly as we think? Because they're a little hesitant. Comment down below if you think that. Because I think they're kind of balancing between. It would be nasty to have Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett. Believe me, it would be one of the best defensive line duos in the NFL. But what I'm trying to say here is that Jadeveon Clowney, like, if they go up to his asking price, and all of a sudden now they get Jadeveon Clowney, the next season Myles Garrett wants to get signed, are you going to be able to sign both of them? Is it going to almost turn into a Cowboys situation, right? Where Dak, you gave Amari Cooper the money, you gave Zeke the money, now Dak wants the money. Is Dak not going to get the money because now he has them two? Is that going to happen with Myles Garrett, where they give Clowney the money? Let's just say Baker Mayfield has a breakout year. Maybe Beckham has a breakout year. Now you got to look at Beckham too. They got to feed his contract in order for him to say he doesn't have a good year. I think he'll turn into a Le'Veon Bell where they release him. I think Beckham, this is it for him. If he doesn't have a good year, Le'Veon Bell and Beckham are almost the same exact situation. Beckham needs a good year to stay in Cleveland. Le'Veon needs a good year to stay in New York. That's true. I mean, it's true. Gaze has already kind of said that. Like, the Jets have already kind of put that out there. Like, this is it for Le'Veon. Le'Veon did say about the new offensive line, said that he absolutely can't wait to play for this team, to play for the new offensive line. But it's true. Le'Veon Bell needs a big year. So does so does Odell Beckham. And Myles Garrett now, if he wants the money next year, and then now Jadeveon Clowney, are the Browns going to turn into a Cowboys where they can't feed everybody? And then look, you got Baker Mayfield coming around 1 or 2 years from now. A signing now could affect him later, because then let's just say Jadeveon Clowney signs to a 1-2 year deal, and then all of a sudden he wants to get re-signed. You got to watch out. Baker Mayfield has a great year. He's going to want that money because he's coming into this is his 3rd year. So he's going to want the money. Baker Mayfield's, we're going to want the money, right? If he has a good year this year, a very good year, you know he's going to be asking for it. He hasn't had his 2 years have been average to below average, so he doesn't deserve the big paycheck yet. But watch out, Baker might want the money soon. So this could turn into a little bit of a financial issue with the Cleveland. That's why I think they're hesitant, because they got to look down the road. They got to look like, okay, we get Jadeveon Clowney now. Now if Myles Garrett wants the money. Now if Baker Mayfield wants money. Well, what if Odell has another good year? Well, how about Jarvis Landry? Let's just say he has a good year. He might want the money, or he might go somewhere else to get a bigger contract. Same with Odell, right? Does he want the money? Because if he's going to have another year where was Odell with the Giants, where he was pretty good with the Giants, if he has a year like that, he's going to want the money. I don't like Beckham, but he's going to want the money. He's like that. So I think that's why the Browns are a little hesitant to sign, in my opinion, one of the better defensive ends in the league. I know that's a big debate, because Jadeveon Clowney, what people think, though, didn't have a great year last year, but he did. He had a good year. Not as good, but he still had a very good year. Everybody's like, oh, that was the worst year of his career. No. He was still one of the better defensive ends in the league. He was still had a very good year. He had 3 sacks, 21 solo tackles, and 4 forced fumbles. So, that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. Last year, he only played 13 games as well, because I think that's when he was out with the groin a little bit. He only played 13 games. He missed 3. Year before that, he missed 1 game. 3 games could really make a difference. 3 games, you could get a total of 3 sacks in those games. All of a sudden, he has 6 sacks, maybe 2 more, maybe 1 more forced fumble, and maybe 5, 6 more solo tackles. All of a sudden, you got about 30 solo tackles, 6 sacks, better stat line. He missed 3 games, plus he wasn't healthy. He wasn't that healthy in the playoffs either. The playoffs last year for the Seahawks, that was not led by the defense. That was the offense. Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf in the wildcard game. Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett kept them in that game. The defense actually let up that 1 touchdown, which was actually the big problem. They went back. It was a shootout. So the offense kept them in that. Defense kind of did, but the offense really helped. So Jadeveon Clowney, does he deserve the money? I think he deserves if he gets $15 million. Or because you got to watch out. How is he going to bounce back from that groin? Same thing with the Cam Newton. He's been sending videos to all the teams. Same thing with Cam Newton. How is he going to bounce back from the groin? How? Cam Newton, how is he going to bounce back from the foot? How is Jadeveon Clowney going to bounce back with the groin? That's my question with C.J. Mosley as a Jets fan. How is Mosley going to bounce back with the groin? Is he going to be the Mosley we saw in Week 1, or is he going to be a totally different Mosley that we should not have spent $85 million on? What are we going to see? I think we'll see. I don't think it's going to be that bad. Right? It's going to be interesting. Is he deserving of the $17 million? I think so. But what I'm trying to say here is what I'm trying to say is that he wants the money, but is the groin going to turn into an ongoing issue? Is the groin going to be an issue? Are you going to have to worry about the groin? Are you going to pay $17 million for him to re-injure the groin and be out the whole season? Right? That's why I think the Browns are a little hesitant, and that's why I don't think he has been signed yet, because there's a lot of questions. Right? There's a lot of questions with the Browns. Very many questions. Garrett, is he going to get signed next year? Beckham, Landry, Mayfield. Players like that, right? Now if you add Jadeveon Clowney, now your cap space gets lower. Now do you have really room for the other players, right? That's why I think it's been very interesting. That's why I don't think the Titans signed him, because you got to watch out. Derrick Henry, if he has another good year, you know he's going to want the money. Tannehill just got the money, right? Same thing with the Jets. Jamal Adams, they knew he wanted the money. They knew it. Le'Veon Bell's already got a big contract. Let's just say Sam Darnold has a good year next year as well as this year. He's going to want the money, right? You got to watch out. You got to start to watch out. Mekhi Becton, your new guy. I know I'm talking down the road here, but you got to watch out. You got to be careful with that, right? Same thing with Mosley. You have a big contract in Mosley. You have a lot of big contracts in these guys, and you got to really watch out. You just re-signed Alex Lewis, too. Now you got these other guys, George Font, Greg Van Roten, all those guys. Connor McGovern, those are pretty big contracts right there. So you got to watch out. That's why I think it's taking a little bit, because he's a big contract for guys, for teams that might run into roadblocks if they get him, because other players are going to want to get signed, and also players just to begin with have big contracts on that team. Do I think that he would be a good fit with the Browns? Yes, like I said, him and Myles Garrett would be an insane duo together. Would be insane together. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's what I got for Jadeveon Clowney and the Browns. Now let's get into the MLB stats. So a report came out yesterday. So if the season gets lower and things happen with the season, if the players can agree to the money, you know how I feel about that. But you know how it's gonna be. If the season gets to the point where if the season gets to the point where they play 82 games, you could possibly see a 400 hitter. Now, there's only been a couple of only been a couple of 400 hitters. Let me get it up here before I start talking about it. So there's only been a couple of 400 hitters. And there was a couple hitters last year that batted in the high 300s. Charlie Blackmon was, I think, the highest batting average last year. He had a very good batting average. This goes to show you, though, that home runs aren't everything. Charlie Blackmon, I'm pretty sure, made it to the home run derby. He didn't win it. Pete Alonso did. But he still had the highest batting average in the league. Facts do show. This is kind of opinionated as well, but facts do really show that you can see as players hit more home runs, the batting averages go down, right? Because they're not as consistent. David Ortiz, he was a big, good 300 hitter. Let me look. I have my top players right here, right? I have my top players of all time. David Ortiz, throughout his career, batted 286. That's good. But that's very good. 286 throughout your career is very good. But let's just say he was more of a singles, doubles hitter. That could have been 300, right? So things like that, right? Things like that could really make a difference. Things like that can make a difference. So the less home run hitters you see, and it's kind of true, it's kind of a fact, like Albert Pujols, he's a doubles and home runs guy, right? He's not a single. He doesn't hit a lot of singles. He's home runs, right? His batting average is probably 250, 260, right? That's why you got to watch out. Same thing with Christian Yelich. He had a very good batting average last year because he's not a big home run hitter. Singles, doubles, triples, right? Guys like that have the big home run season. So so everybody gets a DH 82-game season beginning July 4th. This is all if somehow they can come to an agreement. So the Ted Williams issue. Could someone hit 400? So these forecasted 2020 leaders. Number 1, Charlie Blackmon, Rockies. Last year he batted 323. Nolan Arenado, Rockies. Last year he batted 322. Howie Kendrick, Nationals. Last year he batted 316. Plus that big playoff home run. That was big. I know I did just say about home runs and everything, but Howie Kendrick, he was not a big home run hitter. Came up big with that big grand slam against the Dodgers. Ty, Luis Arraez, Twins, 310, and J.D. Martinez, Red Sox, 310, Daniel Murphy, Rockies, 310. The history, no one has hit 400 over a full season in baseball since Ted Williams did hit 406 in 1941. No one has done it in the National League since Bill Terry hit 401 in 1930. However, there have been few instances in which a player has enjoyed a mini Ted season by topping 400 over 82 games. 82 game 400 hitter since 1945. 476, George Brett, 1980. 427, Ichiro Suzuki, 2004. Ted Williams, 422, 1957. 418, Nomar Graziapara, 2000. Wade Boggs hit 415 in 1985. 411, Tito Francona, 1959. 411, Tony Gwynn, 1997. Tony Gwynn, 410, 1994. 410, Josh Hamilton, 2010. I do remember him. He was very good. Josh Hamilton was a very good player. Rod Carew, 407 in 1977. 406, Rod Carew, 1983. 404, John Olerud, 1993. 404, Cone Figgins, 2007. 402, Jeff Bagwell, 1994. 402, Frank Thomas, 1997. 402, Joey Votto. I do remember this season when I was looking through the list. 2016. 401, Roberto Clemente, 1969. 401, Tony Gwynn, 1993. 401, Todd Helton, 2000. 400, Wade Boggs, 1983. 400, Barry Bonds, 2002, steroids. I do think he still would have hit a lot of home runs without the steroids, but yeah, different sort of, right? So 400, Stan Musial, 1946. 400, Ted Williams, 1948, and 400, Joe Mauer, 2006. No, based on a minimum of 254 plays. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, best 82 game batting average past 5 years. 402, Joey Votto, 2016. 398, Jose Altuve, 2017. 384, Jose Altuve, 2016. 380, Ketel Marte, 2019. 380, DJ LeMahieu, 2016. So, something like, who knows if there will be a 400 hitter. Let's just say MLB plays a season with 82 games. Will there be a 400 hitter? Now, this is why I bring up Jeff McNeil. He had a very underrated year last year. He batted high 300s. Could he be one of the possible ones? I don't know. Like I said, Aaron Judge, too. He's always batted in the big gold high 2s, low 3s. Could he hit a spark? And all of a sudden, Judge, over the years, first year, big home run guy, 52 home runs. Second year, turned into a little bit more. And then, obviously, last year, hit home runs. But he's hitting more singles, doubles now. And it's true. You look at it. That's why his batting average is a little higher. Because he's hitting more singles, doubles than home runs. Than what he did. So, like I said, embrace this strange. The Mets, Jeff McNeil hit 388 in one sim season. Last year, he hit high 300s last year. I don't know, that was one sim season, right? He did hit high 3s last year. He did. He hit very high 3s. So, could he be one of the guys? Could Judge be one of the guys? You gotta really dissect it and look. Look at the numbers. Look at the possible pitchers they'll go against. How, if you really want to tell, how they've done against those pitchers, you really have to dissect the numbers. I think Charlie Blackmon could. Charlie Blackmon on the Rockies is a very good player. He's very good at his position. He's very good at his hitting. He's a very good player all around. I could see Charlie Blackmon possibly being one, right? 82 games, it's going to make it interesting. Now you got to go with the 112 ERAs, things like that. Triple Crown. There's only been a couple of Triple Crown winners. Mickey Mantle, Hank Aaron, Ted Williams, Frank Robinson, Carl Yastrzemski, Mike Schmidt, This is after the All-Star break. Post All-Star break Triple Crowns, and then this is pre-All-Star break Triple Crowns. Mickey Mantle, Hank Aaron, Ted Williams, and then this is post All-Star break Triple Crown. Ted Williams, Frank Robinson, Carl Yastrzemski, Mike Schmidt, Ken Kaminti, Albert Bella, Ryan Howard, Christian Yelich, right? And then you got, a couple players, Cody Bellinger and Christian Yelich both won Triple Crown in different simulations. And then you obviously got, Miguel Cabrera won a Triple Crown. Things like that. How many home runs might lead the league? Forecasted 2020 leaders. Joey Gallo, Mike Trout, Stanton, Pete Alonso, JD Martinez, Nelson Cruz, Cody Bellinger, Giancarlo Stanton. I don't know. He struggled a little bit with the Yankees. Injured, though, a lot. So, there's a lot of players. It's really going to get interesting. You have to really look. 112 ERA, there's been one player, I think, that with that. But, like I said, could we see that? Yes, because there's a shorter season. That's 82 games right there. Then that's 80 games you don't have to play. So, technically, you could get 5 more hits in the rest of the 80 games of the season, right? So, it really could get interesting. Really could get interesting. But that's, it all really depends. Now, I think there could be a 400 hitter, right? But, the really big thing is when, will it happen, will it happen early on, or will he barely get it? Is it going to be low 400s or going to be decent? Whatever the case may be. I'm sure you're going to see a ton of 300 hitters. You'll probably see more than usual. But it's going to be interesting. Definitely will be interesting. So that's what I got for today's pod. Hope you enjoyed it. I know we talked a lot of baseball, a good amount of football. We got Jadeveon Clowney, then we had the MLB stats. I am with sports. I love stats. I'm a big sports geek. But just trying to think of anything else that I didn't miss anything. I said everything. So, a couple things though. Comment down below. Do you agree with me with the baseball money thing? Do you think Jadeveon Clowney should go to the Browns? Do you think him and Myles Garrett, do you agree that they could be one of the nastier combos? MLB stats. Predict. Who do you think could possibly hit 400? Those are the things I would like you guys to comment down below. That's what I got for today's podcast. Tomorrow we'll be back at it for the final podcast of the week. And obviously take breaks on the weekend. That whole routine thingy. That whole thing. But yeah, so anyway, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.